Good afternoon. SAA says they will continue with operations despite the ongoing strike. While addressing the media earlier on, acting SAA CEO Zux Ramasiya warned striking workers not to intimidate others. She says a number of employees have returned to work. The strike is in its 5th day.
The growing number of our employees are not supporting the strike. More workers are coming back to work, and this is evidenced by the increasing number of flights that we are operating. The fact that we are laying more flights to the destinations that I've already mentioned is because of the return of those who were in the industrial action. SAA would like to strongly condemn the intimidation of employees who have decided to report for work. Let's be clear about this. Describing some of our employees as traitors and threatening that we know where you are will not be tolerated by South African Airways. We'll do everything in our power to protect our employees.
I don't think we need to tell you that SAA management and unions are still struggling to see eye to eye, but they'll continue talking. The airline's acting chairperson, Thandeka Mgoduso, has confirmed that further negotiations will take place this afternoon.
The atmosphere was problem-solving. Both parties came together to look at possibilities, and you've got to acknowledge the fact that the players who will resolve this are the executive, SAA and the unions, not the minister. So that is why the unions are coming back to continue the conversations within the organization. So there was no impasse. Instead, there were possibilities that were bandied, which are going to be explored further. A framework for a whole host of things. You'll appreciate the fact that unions are part of the staff at SAA. They have ideas as well. So they are presenting those. If those are outside the LTTS, then we'll entertain them and look and weigh the pros and the cons. So it was a cordial interaction, and it was a constructive engagement, and we shall continue that. What was important was that NUMSA and SACA said they are willing to come and continue conversations within SAA. So we'll be meeting them this afternoon.
Well, the airline's management is ready for a potential sale of the troubled airline. Interim Chief Financial Officer Dion Fredericks says they are focused on stabilizing the airline so they can start looking for equity partners.
What we as a company want to do, and it's my view as well, you need to stabilize the child first. The sick, nobody will buy the sick child or will take the sick child. Somebody will come and say, okay, you write off all your loans and you pay me to take the sick child. And that's what we're trying to do. If we stabilize, then the shareholder has already indicated, and they're doing work around it, to look for an equity partner. And something like this is not something that happens immediately. It will probably take at least 2 years at the end of the day.
But SAA could face even more strike action from unions. The South African Transport and Allied Workers Union, who are not part of the current strike, have been issued with a strike certificate. They are holding on to it while they continue talks with the airline. SATA's Zanele Sabela spoke to Den Moyane a bit earlier on.
It's about the fact that SAA is so huge and we have several unions organizing there, and none of us have an outright majority. So we all have majorities in different places. We, as SATAO, in coalition with AWUSA and Solidarity, we have a majority at Technical, SAA Technical.
So you are the part of the 3 unions that are big in SA Technical. And yes. SA Technical is not on strike.
SAA Technical is not on strike. We do have a certificate.
Why is SA Technical not on strike? Are you not affected by the wages that are being paid by other workers?
Okay, so because all these are subsidiaries and they negotiate separately. They negotiate the wage, the salary negotiations are separate. So we went to we were also offered a 0% increase, rejected it. We went to the CCMA last week on Tuesday, where we were offered the same 5.9%. But we were told that it's not guaranteed, it's on condition that management is able to do cost cuts to fund the increased salary bill. Because But now, is this an offer, or are you just kidding? What is it? So we rejected that. So we were given a strike certificate, but the commissioner said to us, the strike certificate, we can't use it until after the 22nd of November, which is this Friday.
Okay, now let's just clarify that, because I can see the people in the newsroom there, my colleagues are listening to this thinking, okay, what has he just said? Okay, SA Technical, standalone subsidiary of this big SA group.
Yes.
It's a division of one. In there sits SATAU, Solidarity, and AWUSA, who are the biggest unions in that division of SA, yes. That's SA Technical. You guys have been negotiating for a salary increase. You were also offered 5.9%, not guaranteed. You have rejected it. You do have in your hands a strike certificate, but you can't use it, according to the CCMA, until the 27th of November, yes. Which is next week. So
we're thinking, the commissioner intended for us to continue talking.
I will continue to talk.
Yes.
As SA Technical.
As SA Technical. So there is a meeting for later today that is scheduled, and those wage negotiations will continue. So
it's likely, if they don't succeed, you guys go on strike after the 27th of November.
We do have a strike certificate, so we're holding it.
Yeah, but my question is, it's likely that you will go on strike as
always
SA
a possibility. Always a possibility.
You'll have to canvass your members.
Yes.
And